Hello there, my name's Hido and welcome to the Pantheon, where today we're having a look at a brand new mono white commander from Commander 2021. He's got a really cool name. It's Nils. Nils, Discipline Enforcer. He weighs in at 3 mana and he's a 2/2. He's a human cleric, not that that matters. Maybe you do want to make a cleric commander with him, but there's better commanders for that. At the beginning of your end step, for each player, put a 1/1 counter on up to one target creature that player controls. Each creature with one or more counters on it can't attack you or planeswalkers you control, unless its controls pays X, where X is the number of counters on that creature. Really quite cool. Nice bit of incidental value. You know, if our opponents just have, you know, some big Simic counters sort of deck, they can't attack us. But I think we can take advantage of it and, you know, really make it work for us. If you're not subscribed, please do. I'm going to be making lots more videos like this. I've done every single commander in Strixhaven and now every single commander in Commander 2021. So I'm going to be doing a lot more in the future. So please subscribe. Without further ado, let's get on to number 5. In at number 5, we've got Archangel of Tithes, another tax for attacking. 4 mana for a 3/5 with flying. As long as it's untapped, creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control, whilst its controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. As long as it is attacking, creatures can't block unless this controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. So, excellent little, you know, on-theme sort of tax guy here. Guy. It's a girl. Although angels could be androgynous, could be either one. To go with this, we've got a couple of other things. Sphere of Safety. 5 mana for an enchantment. Creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays X for each of those creatures, where X is the number of enchantments you control. This could be a sub-theme of the deck. You know, you go very enchantment-based. White has a lot of good interaction with enchantments, so that could be a direction you take the deck in. Combat Calligraphy is a brand new card from Strixhaven Commander. 4 mana for a 3/3 flyer. Inklings can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. Ooh. Whenever a player attacks one of your opponents, that attacking player creates a tapped 2/1 white Inkling creature token with flying that's attacking that opponent. So it doesn't directly stop our opponents from attacking, but they're incentivized to send their damage other places because they're getting an extra body. Finally, Ghostly Prison, 3 mana enchantment. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature he or she controls that's attacking you. Well, this is really good, but you do have to remember that Ghostly Prison doesn't work with planeswalkers, which is a bit sad, really. It is a good card that's defending you, but white is quite strong with planeswalkers. This brings me on to number 4. It's Dejero with Eyes Open. 5 mana 4/3 with Vigilance. When it's the battlefield, you may search your library for a planeswalker card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. And if a source would deal damage to a planeswalker control, prevent 1 of that damage. So, as I said, planeswalkers are a good, like, little sub-theme that can go into, you know. If we're going to stop things from attacking, well, our planeswalkers will run riot and we'll get a bunch of counters onto them. Elspeth, Undaunted Hero, is a 5 mana, 5-altered planeswalker. I think she was from the Commander Duel deck things. Planeswalker decks, that's the ones. +2, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Now, this can target our opponent's creatures, so if our commander's out, we can prevent our opponents from attacking in at all of our planeswalkers, and we're going to go up to 7 loyalty. The -2 searches your library and or graveyard for a card named Sunlit Hoplite and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. Sunlit Hoplite is right here. 2 mana 2/1. As long as it's your turn, it gets first strike, and it gets +1/+0 if you control an Elspeth. So, nice little bit of interaction there. -8, until end of turn, target creature you control gains flying and gets +X/+X, where X is your devotion to white. So this could get our commander in for an absolute ton of commander damage, and we could win the game. Sunlit Hoplite, there he is. And there we go on to a Ajani, Adversary of Tyrants. 4 mana, 4 loyalty planeswalker, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. So again, we can target our opponent's things to prevent them from attacking, or our own to buff our board. We can return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from graveyard to the battlefield. So if our Sunlit Hoplite dies, by God, we can get him back. And -7, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of your end step, create 3 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. Not great, but it's okay. Search for Glory is an excellent card. You know, we're in mono white. We may as well play snow lands. So search your library for a snow permanent card. That is, you know, one of our lands. Search your library for a legendary card or a saga card. Saga's not that strong in mono white, but we're going to be playing a lot of Planeswalkers, and Planeswalkers are legendary. Or you could get some utility legendary creatures. Then, nice bit of incidental life gain attached to Search for Glory. Ugin the Ineffable is a 6-mana 4/4 Planeswalker. Color spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. All of your ramp and, you know, other stuff like that is probably going to be colorless in white. There's not much good stuff out there. So this is an excellent bit of ramp for all of your ramp. Or the other Ugin that's sitting over there. +1, exile the top card of your library face down and look at it. Create a 2/2. Color Spirit creature token. When that token leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card into your hand. Bit of card advantage in mono white. And -3, destroy target permanent that's one or more colours. Excellent bit of removal. Finally, Ugin the Spirit Dragon. 8 mana, 7 loyalty Planeswalker. +2, lightning bolt something. -X, exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less. That's one or more colours. And then finally, -10, you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Absolutely backbreaking, and if we can defend this using a commander and another couple of things, we're going to have a great old time. Which brings me on to number 3. In at number 3, we've got Sensei, Golden Tail. Now, it's not just +1/+1 counters that stop it. It's any sort of counters on our opponent's creatures. So, 2 mana for a 2/1 with Bushido, which means when it is blocked or becomes blocked, it gets +1/+1. And you can pay 2 and tap it, put a training counter on target creature. That means we can target our opponents. That creature gains Bushido 1 and becomes a samurai in addition to its other creature types. Play this ability only anytime you can play a sorcery. So this is a nice little thing. We can just throw a couple of counters out there and prevent everything from attacking in at us. To go along with this, a couple of more interesting counter cards. Choking Fumes is a 3 mana instant. Put a -1/-1 counter on each attacking creature. So this won't pull things out of combat that are attacking us, but we will then be safe from them the next turn. And the artwork is great. Look, a couple of little goblins making some green fire. Wonderful. Orzhov Advocist is a 3 mana 1/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2 1/1 counters on a creature they control. If a player does, creatures that player control can't attack you or a Planeswalker you control until end of turn. So if our opponents are wise, they're not going to choose this. So it's not the best card in the world, but it does work very well with our theme. Finally, brand new card here, Promise of Loyalty. 5 mana sorcery. Each player puts a vow counter on a creature they control and sacrifices the rest. Each of those creatures can't attack you or a Planeswalker you control for as long as it has a vow counter on it. So yes, it does prevent the attacking, but it's also another counter to play into the theme. And it's a board wipe, which is cool. Also, number 2. Not also. Anyway, number 2. And in number 2, Otherworldly Journey. White is a great flicker colour, and these couple of flicker spells are excellent. 2 mana for an instant that's arcane. Exile target creature, which means we can target our opponent's creatures. At the beginning of the next end step, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. So we can either exploit this with things like Dejeru on our own creatures, or on our opponent's creature that may be attacking in, and then because it's got a counter, it can't attack anymore. Long Road Home, exactly the same card here. 2 mana instant, exile target creature. At the beginning of the end step, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. Exactly the same. These next two are more focused on our creatures and our permanents. So, Felidar Guardian, 4 mana 1/4. Cat Beast. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile another target permanent you control. Then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So, if one of our Planeswalkers has gone down in loyalty, this can reset it back up to high loyalty and we can activate it again. Then we got Semester's End, which is a great card for saving your board and saving all your Planeswalkers. 4 mana for an instant. Exile any number of target creatures and or Planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of the next end step, return each of them to the battlefield under its owner's control. Each of them enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it if it's a creature, or an additional loyalty counter on it if it's a Planeswalker. That 3-mana Gideon, I believe you'd come back with that it's a creature all the time on your turn. I believe you'd come back with both, which is really cool, isn't it? Moving on, we're at number 1. So here at number 1, we've got Regna's Sanction. I think she's called Regna. She's that angel woman that's friends with Krav. 4 mana for a sorcery. For each player, choose friend or foe. Each friend puts a 1/1 counter on each creature they control. Each foe chooses 1 untapped creature they control, then taps the rest. So with this, we're just going to be making friends. We're going to choose friends for everyone because then everyone's got counters and no one's creature's going to attack into you. Really awesome. Like, out of this cycle of this sort of card, I hate this one. It's just really rubbish. But it works fantastically in this deck, and those are the sort of cards that I love to find. Going along with this, we've got Meadow Boon. 4 mana for a 3/3. When it leaves the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each creature target player controls. Then it has Evoke, which means when you cast it, you sacrifice it. So it leaves the battlefield straight away, basically. This can put 1/1 counters on every creature on our opponent's side, which is pretty awesome. And that artwork is lovely. I love the sort of clouds that are coming off his little feet. Then, Relief Captain, 4 mana for a core knight ally. When it enters the battlefield, support 3. Support 3 means you put 1/1 counters on up to 3 other target creatures, which does include our opponent's creatures. These are all excellent with all of our Flicker cards, but Shoulder to Shoulder is a nice little filler card. 3 mana for a sorcery with support 2. Draw a card. So this distributes counters are out, and you dig through your deck, which is really quite nice. And those are my top 5 cards for this brand new commander. He's sort of cool. I like him, He's a good fella. Great little name. I like him. He'll make a way in his world, Good stuff. If you like this video, please subscribe. I'm going to be making a lot more content like this, and I'll see you soon. Bye.